I mean, this Seattle, let's start with Seattle. I know we got a lot of Seattle listeners, and rightfully so. You got a good following up in Seattle. I don't know what you did up there to earn all the followers, but God bless it. They freaking love you, Rich. Talk to me about Seattle. They're 5-3. How does this happen?
Great coaching. Geno, MVP Geno Smith playing MVP ball. He's not going to get it because of Mahomes and Josh Allen. But he's got 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season. He's being the guy they need him to be, Kenneth Walker Jr. And guess what? The defense showed up. Mm-hmm. They held this boy, Daniel Jones, to, I think, 160 yards or so. I mean, he wasn't cooking. They didn't let him rush for a ton. They didn't let Saquon run wild. I mean, it's a lot of things to be excited for. DK wasn't as injured as everybody thought he was, which is great news. Tyler Lockett had kind of a rough day and then turned it all around with a double move touchdown on Adoree Jackson. It was really great, but I felt bad for my guy Richie James. That's a guy, old teammate of mine. I really cheer for him every week, and that was a tough game for him. But Uchenna Nwosu is going crazy right now, Mitchell. He looks like a steal of a free agent pickup. Another 2-sack game for him, and your boy Kenneth Walker had a touchdown.
This draft class is going to go down in the record books. It has to. I mean, every single pick, for the most part, is making a contribution to this team. And they're allowing this team that was projected to be in the basement of this division to now be first place in the NFC West 8 weeks into the season. I mean, we talked about it last week. When we said, hey, 507 games into the season, if I were to tell you that at the beginning of the season, what would you say? Now 2 games over 500, 8 weeks into the season, 5-3, first place in NFC West. If I were to tell you that at the beginning of the season, Rich, what would you say?
Mitchell, you'd be insane. But if you also told me they'd be playing a 6-1 Giants this week, I'd also say this is a alternate universe where I don't belong, and I don't know where the Avengers are and Thanos, but they're somewhere around because this is insanity.
I know there's a little level of bias with your ties to Seattle, but we might be having conversations about Richard Sherman's power ranks and Seattle sniffing that 5th spot here pretty soon if they keep this up.
If they keep it up, Mitchell, I need them to keep it up for them to get that. They're doing a great job right now. They 3 in a row for them. Geno is 4th in QBR in the National Football League. He's being what Pete Carroll always needs his quarterbacks to be. Very careful with the ball, no careless turnovers. The defense didn't get turnover today, but the special teams got 2. I mean, this is what you need. This is Pete Carroll football. The 12th men were loud and proud, and they're back engaged in football games. It's going to be fun for them going forward.
They held Daniel Jones in check. He was finding his rhythm. He looked like a pretty darn good quarterback over the last week or two, and I think he was sub 20 yards at half passing. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. The one thing holding this team back was their defense, and they needed to step up in order to make this team take that next step. What have they done right over these last few weeks? It seems like we've seen this shift. All of a sudden, Seattle's got a pretty good defense. What have they done different?
They're mixing it up. They're an extra safety on the field. Ryan Neal played a really good game today. They're getting pass rushers back. They're putting some old faces on. Bruce Irving had some pressures on the quarterback, some TFLs. His leadership is invaluable. Big Al Woods in the middle is making a big difference. Jordan's playing really good football in the middle. In the secondary, I mean, yeah, the corners you just aren't hearing a lot. Michael Jackson had a really good game because you're not hearing their names. Tariq, you haven't heard his name in a while because after you catch 4 interceptions in 4 games, then people stop bothering you. They stop throwing it over there, and they get hip to the groove. Quandre Diggs is still back there doing his thing. Cody Barton had a sack today. They're getting contributions from all over the field. They're playing great team football. They're just being disciplined. Guys are in their gaps. Guys are setting edges. Guys are containing the football. They're doing what good, well-coached teams do. And offensively, they're doing the same. The rookies have come in ready to play. Again, I cannot overstate how ready to play these rookies came in. That's the difference in this season. That's the reason this isn't a rebuild season, because these guys came in and they're making huge impacts.
Well, last time they had a good draft class like this, you were in it, Rich, and that's how quickly franchise can turn around. It just can take one draft class, and they did it quick. Let's go across the pond. We saw a game this morning. I don't even know if you were awake. 6:30 a.m. your time. Were you out of bed at that time? Or
I was in bed, Mitchell, but I watched the game. I was in bed. You
watched the game. I watched the game too, and it was an entertaining one. I mean, it got off to a little bit of a slow start. Talk to me about this game for Denver. It was a big win for them. Russell had a little bit of a resurgence at the end of the game. Yeah, talk about how big of a win this is for Denver.
This is huge. The wheels were about to fall off the ship. It was going to be a lot of blame. People were saying they were going to leave Nathaniel Hackett in London if they lost this game. But Russell comes back, plays a really good second half, really good second half of the game. 18 for 30, 252, a touchdown. He threw a pick in the game, but Jerry Jeudy had a very solid game on the touchdown. He ran a really great route. But they didn't have a first down until 21 minutes into the game. There's still a lot of questions about this team and a lot of things they have to answer. The defense has been on the field way too long every game. And yes, they're battling. My boy KK got him a pick with a cast on. He's out there battling. They called a BS flag on him because he goes low and makes a heck of a play. The only way you can make the play with a tackle bearing down on him. But that's a story for a different day. But they gave up 156 yards to Travis Etienne Jr. In a rushing touchdown. That's uncharacteristic of this defense. Obviously, they held Trevor Lawrence in check. Huge red zone interception, Justin Simmons, which was a crazy throw by Trevor Lawrence is not getting enough heat. That's I'm not understanding. Like, he was the number one pick. Like, they need to what is he doing? What is he doing? You throw across your body. Like, I hear them kill like Zach Wilson. They're killing Zach Wilson. You throw the crazy interceptions, like 3 of them in a game. Cool, crazy, yes. Like, he threw an interception from the 1 yard line. You know how I feel about that, Mitchell. Like, yeah. You threw an interception and you threw a stupid pass. Like, that was not even a wise decision. There was no way that was going to ever be completed. You were late throwing it back inside into the field. Like, what exactly were you thinking? He was the number one pick. Everybody's saying he's generational talent. He's the next Andrew Luck. No, he's not. He's not even close. Like, Luck ain't doing this. Luck is leading this team. Luck would have had those games won. Maybe 6-1 right now with Andrew Luck. Like, he's everything they thought Justin Herbert was. They said Justin Herbert doesn't love the game. He's disinterested. He's a pretty boy. He kind of just makes his way through the game. Like, you thought it was coaching. So you're like, hey, we'll give him a break, bad coach. Doug Peterson's a good coach. Like, they're running a pretty good offensive scheme.
Sure.
It should play to his strengths. He's just not making it happen. He's not making great decisions. He's not making plays with his legs. He's not making plays with his arm. All that arm talent you saw at Clemson, you're not seeing it now. Like, where is it at? And cool, first year, you're like, okay, all right. Second year, no. You don't get the excuse anymore. Like, you're pro. Make some plays.
Well, you see it in pieces with him, right? I mean, you see the big arm. He certainly looks to have that talent. Yeah, the whole tank for Trevor. I mean, the dude, remember this at Clemson. I mean, he was the guy. NFL teams were lining up, and at the end of that season, trying to lose games for this guy. And he hasn't been that spark plug. He hasn't been that differentiator for this team. And I mean, he's got the weapons. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, they have enough weapons to make things happen. And certainly defensively, they got a hell of a lot of talent. This Jaguars team is a team that if they can get right, if Trevor Lawrence can get his act together, that they could be competitive. But at this point in time, they're not.
If was a fifth, Mitchell,
we'd all
the phrase.
Be drunk.
We'd all
Richard,
be drunk.
I know we get heat you get heat for the Russell Wilson conversations, but we didn't bring this one up. This is one he brought on himself, and he was going viral on it because of his acts on the plane on the way over. Doing the high knees, stretching, working out for 4 of the 8 hours. I'm sure you guys saw the memes. It was all over the internet. But is this something that's new? I mean, from Russell and other teammates, working out on these long flights, getting it in when you can, or is this just like one of those rare, random, odd things from a random odd guy?
A little bit of both, Mitchell. I mean, guys, veterans especially, you on a 8-9 hour flight, you're gonna get up and move around, and your trainers and your everybody's gonna tell you, hey, you need to get up, move around, you need to try to get your blood flowing, because otherwise you got to play a game eventually, and you're gonna be stagnant. You're flying across the pond.
Sure.
Like, it's gonna be different. But for 4 hours, Mitchell, 4 hours is a bit excessive, Mitchell. That seems a bit exaggerated. Like, to watch the film, that makes sense. To 4 hours, I'm trying to figure out exactly what you'd be doing for 4 hours. I mean, he's breaking a sweat. I don't know what kind of plane they had or what kind of aisles they had, but 4 hours is a bit long to do anything, Mitchell. I don't know many players who work out on a regular day for 4 hours.
Right. Let alone doing some high knees walking lunges down the aisle for 4 hours. I mean, I get it to a degree, Rich, and I know guys are working out in their hotel rooms, and getting it in wherever they can. And I remember visiting you during the Super Bowl before you guys took on the Chiefs, and guys were working out in the hotel lobbies, but I mean, certainly this seems odd and random, no question about it.
It is, but it worked. They got the win. And in the National Football League, that's all that matters. You get the win. If you got a voodoo doll in your locker, keep it in there because we need to win next week too. And they gotta keep it close. They break a 4-game losing streak. We'll see if this gets them any momentum. but the offense still did not look. It still looked disconnected. They still got a lot of questions to answer, and they better answer them soon.